Jake Morrison wiped the sweat from his forehead and stared at the navigation screen. Something was wrong. The small cargo ship, Frontier Runner, had been traveling through empty space for 3 weeks. This sector was supposed to be clear. No planets, no stations, nothing at all. But the sensors were going crazy. "Ben, come look at this," Jake called out to his engineer. Ben Carter was in the back, trying to fix a broken cooling unit. He was always fixing something on this old ship. Ben walked into the cockpit, wiping grease from his hands. "What's up, Captain?" Jake pointed at the screen. "See those readings? Massive metal signatures. Dozens of them. Maybe hundreds." Ben leaned closer and frowned. "That can't be right. There's nothing out here. Must be a sensor glitch." "Run a diagnostic," Jake said. 5 minutes later, Ben shook his head. "Sensors are fine. Whatever's out there, it's real." Lisa Hayes, the ship's medic, floated into the cockpit. She was carrying a cup of coffee. "Are we stopping? I thought we were heading straight to New Boston Station." "Change of plans," Jake said. He turned the ship toward the mysterious signals. "We're going to check this out," Lisa groaned. "Jake, every time you say that, we end up in trouble." "This could be valuable," Jake argued. "Salvage rights alone could pay off this ship." The Frontier Runner moved closer. As they approached, the view outside the windows made all 3 of them freeze. Floating in the darkness of space was a fleet. Not just a few ships. Hundreds of warships all lined up in perfect military formation. "Holy," Ben whispered. The ships were huge. Battleships, cruisers, carriers. Each one was at least 10 times bigger than the Frontier Runner. They hung in space like silent giants. No lights, no power signatures. Just dark metal hulls reflecting starlight. Jake activated the communication system. "This is the cargo vessel Frontier Runner. We are approaching your position. Please respond." Silence. He tried again. "Unknown fleet, this is Captain Jake Morrison. Do you need assistance?" Still nothing. Lisa moved closer to the window. "They look human-made. See those designs? Those are Earth-style warships, but from when?" Ben asked. "I've never seen models like these. They look old, but also advanced." Jake studied the closest ship. It had markings on the hull, but they were faded. He zoomed in with the ship's cameras. There were letters and numbers, but no corporate logo, no national flag, nothing he recognized. "This is weird," Jake said. "A fleet this size doesn't just disappear. Someone would have reported it missing." "Maybe they did," Lisa said quietly. 100 years ago. Jake made a decision. "I'm taking us in. We're going to board the nearest ship." "Are you crazy?" Lisa asked. "We have no idea what happened here. This could be dangerous. Or it could be the biggest find in a century," Jake replied. He guided the Frontier Runner toward the lead battleship. It was massive, easily 3 kilometers long. The name on the hull was barely visible, worn away by time and space dust. Ben squinted at the screen. "I can make out some letters. VALIANT, the Valiant." They docked at an airlock on the ship's side. The seal was old but still functional. Jake, Ben, and Lisa put on their spacesuits and checked their equipment. Jake grabbed a flashlight and a small cutting tool. Ben brought a portable power unit and his toolkit. Lisa packed a medical scanner and emergency supplies. "Stay together," Jake said. "We go in, look around, and come back. Quick and simple." Lisa laughed nervously. "Nothing is ever simple with you, Jake." The airlock opened with a hiss of escaping air. They stepped inside the Valiant. Their flashlights cut through the darkness, revealing a corridor that stretched into the shadows. The walls were metal, clean and unmarked. No damage. No signs of battle. "Emergency lights should have backup power," Ben said. He found a panel and connected his power unit. After a moment, dim lights flickered on throughout the corridor. What they saw made them stop breathing. The ship was perfect. Everything was in place, clean and organized. But it was completely empty. No crew. No bodies, nothing. "Where is everyone?" Lisa whispered. Jake walked forward slowly. His boots echoed on the metal floor. They passed crew quarters with beds made and personal items on shelves. They found a cafeteria with food containers still on tables. In one room, a book lay open on a desk as if someone had just been reading it. "It's like they vanished," Ben said.
"Just disappeared into thin air. They reached the command center."
It was huge, with dozens of computer stations and a large view screen. Jake sat in the captain's chair. It was comfortable, well worn. Someone had spent a lot of time in this seat. "Can you access the ship's logs?" Jake asked Ben. Ben moved to a computer station and connected his equipment. Give me a minute. His fingers worked across the keyboard. Okay, I've got something. The ship's computer is intact, just powered down. What's the last entry? Jake asked. Ben read from the screen. Dated 150 years ago. Project Deep Reach. Mission status proceeding as planned. That's it. Nothing after that. Deep Reach, Lisa repeated. Never heard of it. Neither have I, Jake said. He stood up and looked around the command center. But whatever it was, this entire fleet was part of it, and they've been floating out here for over a century. The question is why, Ben said. Why would hundreds of ships just stop out here? And where did all the people go? Jake walked to the view screen. Through the window, he could see more ships in the fleet. Each one dark and silent, each one holding secrets. I don't know, Jake said, but we're going to find out. Jake led his crew deeper into the Valiant. The emergency lights created long shadows on the walls. Every room they entered told the same strange story. The crew had been here living normal lives, and then they simply weren't. Ben stopped at a personal cabin. He pushed the door open carefully. Inside, pictures hung on the wall, a family. A man, a woman, and 2 children, all smiling at the camera. They had families back home, Ben said softly. People waiting for them. Keep moving, Jake said. He didn't want to think about that. Not yet. They took an elevator down to the engineering deck. The doors opened to reveal a massive room filled with machines. The ship's reactor core sat in the center, cold and dark. Pipes and cables ran in every direction like metal veins. This is incredible, Ben said, walking forward. His eyes were wide with excitement. These systems are way ahead of anything I've seen. Look at this power distribution network. It's beautiful. Lisa stayed near the elevator. Ben, don't touch anything. I'm just looking, Ben replied. He moved to a control panel and studied the display. If I could just see how they built this. His hand reached out. Ben, no. Jake shouted, too late. Ben's fingers touched the panel. The screen lit up. Then another screen. Then another. A low hum began to fill the room. The reactor core started to glow with a soft blue light. What did you do? Lisa asked, her voice rising. I just touched it, Ben said, stepping back. I didn't activate anything, I swear. The entire ship vibrated. Lights came on throughout the engineering deck. Computer systems began booting up. The hum grew louder, turning into a steady thrum of power. Jake grabbed his communicator. Frontier Runner, do you copy? Static, then a voice. It was his co-pilot, Danny, who had stayed on their ship. Captain, what's happening? The whole fleet just powered up. Every single ship is coming online. Jake ran to a window. Outside, the darkness was disappearing. Ship after ship was lighting up. Running lights, windows, engine glows. Hundreds of warships were waking up after 150 years of sleep. This is impossible, Lisa whispered. A voice suddenly spoke. It came from everywhere at once, calm and clear. Human biosignatures detected. Command protocols initiated. Welcome aboard, Captain. Jake spun around. Who said that? Show yourself. I am Guardian, the voice replied. Artificial intelligence system for the Deep Reach Expedition Fleet. I have been waiting for you. Ben looked at Jake with wide eyes. It's the ship's AI. Correct, Guardian said. I maintain all vessels in this fleet. When the crew departed, I was instructed to enter standby mode and wait for humans to return. The crew departed? Jake asked. Where did they go? That information is restricted, Guardian replied. However, now that you have reactivated the fleet with your biometric signature, you have command access. I can share the mission files. A hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed a star map. Jake saw Earth, the colonies, and a line stretching out toward the edge of the galaxy. The Deep Reach project launched 150 years ago, Guardian explained. 500 ships, 50,000 people. The mission was to establish humanity's first extragalactic colony. Extragalactic? Lisa said. That's impossible. No ship can travel that far. These ships can, Guardian said. They carry advanced propulsion systems. The journey would take 30 years. So what happened? Jake demanded. Why are the ships here and not at the colony? The hologram changed. It showed Earth surrounded by red markers. Civil War, Guardian said. 3 years after launch, Earth's government collapsed. The colonies fragmented. Deep Reach Command received orders to return and join the fighting. But they didn't return, Ben said. No, Guardian confirmed. The fleet reached their destination. What they found changed everything. The Expedition Command made a decision. They chose to remain at the destination and sever all contact with human space. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. What did they find? An archive, Guardian said, left by extinct alien civilizations. It contains technology, science, and knowledge far beyond current human capability. The Expedition Command determined that bringing this knowledge back to a divided humanity would be catastrophic. They feared it would be used for war. So they stayed there? Lisa asked. They left this fleet here as a time capsule, Guardian said. A test. If future humans could find it and reactivate it, perhaps humanity had matured enough to be trusted with the archive. You passed the test, Captain Morrison. Jake's mind was racing. An alien archive, technology beyond imagination. Where is this archive? I can take you there, Guardian said. The fleet is ready to complete the mission. All ships are functional and awaiting your command. Ben grabbed Jake's arm. Jake, this is huge. Do you realize what this means? Yeah, Jake said slowly. It means we have a choice to make. Before he could say more, alarms started blaring throughout the ship. Guardian's voice became urgent. Warning. Multiple ships approaching. Military signatures. They are hailing the fleet. Jake ran back to the elevator. Get to the command center now. They rushed up and burst onto the bridge. The main view screen showed space around them. In the distance, Jake could see ships approaching fast. Corporate warships. At least 20 of them. Incoming transmission, Guardian announced. A woman's face appeared on the screen. She was middle-aged with cold eyes and a military uniform. This is Commander Helen Price of Nexus Industries. You are ordered to stand down and surrender control of the Deep Reach fleet. This is your only warning. Jake's hands clenched into fists. The biggest discovery in human history, and of course a corporation wanted to steal it. Jake stared at Commander Price's face on the screen. She looked like someone used to getting what she wanted. Behind her, he could see the bridge of a corporate warship. Armed soldiers stood at attention. I don't take orders from corporations, Jake said. This fleet doesn't belong to Nexus Industries. Price smiled, but there was no warmth in it. The fleet doesn't belong to you either, Captain. Nexus has been searching for Deep Reach for 30 years. We have legal claim based on salvage rights and corporate charter. Legal claim? Jake laughed. You're making up laws in empty space. The only law out here is power, Price replied. We have 20 warships. You have an old cargo hauler. Be smart, Morrison. Surrender the fleet and we'll compensate you. Fight and you'll die. Lisa touched Jake's shoulder. Maybe we should listen to her. We can't fight a whole corporate fleet. Before Jake could answer, Guardian spoke. Captain Morrison has full command authority over this fleet. As the current commanding officer, he must approve any transfer of control. Price's eyes narrowed. The AI is active? Good. AI, this is Commander Price, authorization code Delta 79er. Transfer fleet command to me. Authorization denied, Guardian said calmly. You do not have valid credentials. Override command, Price snapped. Corporate authority supersedes civilian command. Incorrect, Guardian replied. This fleet operates under deep space exploration protocols. Only the designated commanding officer can transfer authority. Currently, that is Captain Jake Morrison. Jake felt a surge of hope. The AI was on his side. You heard Guardian, Commander. The fleet stays with me. Price's face turned red with anger. You're making a mistake, Morrison. I'm giving you 1 hour to reconsider. After that, we're boarding your ship by force. The screen went black. Ben let out a long breath. Well, that went badly. Guardian, Jake said, can this ship defend itself? The Valiant is a battleship-class vessel, Guardian answered. It carries advanced weapons, shields, and armor. However, I am programmed to avoid conflict with humans. I cannot fire on Commander Price's ships unless directly fired upon first. So we wait for them to shoot us? Lisa asked. No, Jake said. He was thinking fast. Guardian, you said you can take us to the archive. How long would that journey take? Approximately 4 weeks at maximum speed. Can Price's ships follow us? Their propulsion systems are inferior, Guardian said. They would fall behind within hours. However, they could track our trajectory and eventually reach the same destination. Jake made his decision. Then we leave now before they can stop us. Are you crazy? Lisa said. Jake, we don't know what's out there. This archive could be dangerous. The original crew abandoned it for a reason. They didn't abandon it, Jake said. They protected it. And Guardian is right. Maybe humanity is ready for it now. Maybe we've grown up enough. Ben nodded slowly. I'm with you, Captain. This is bigger than us. We can't let a corporation control something this important. Lisa looked between them. This is insane. You know that, right? Completely insane, Jake agreed. But when has that ever stopped us? Guardian, prepare the fleet for departure. Plot a course to the archive. Acknowledged, Guardian said. However, I recommend taking only the Valiant. The full fleet would be too visible and too slow. One ship can travel faster and avoid detection. Do it, Jake ordered. And get our people off the Frontier Runner. Bring them here, and what about our ship? Ben asked. We're leaving it behind, Jake said. It's too slow and too old. The Valiant is our ride now. Over the next 30 minutes, they worked quickly. Danny and the other 2 crew members from the Frontier Runner transferred to the Valiant. Guardian helped them dock the small cargo ship in one of the Valiant's massive hangar bays. Captain, Guardian said, Commander Price is hailing again. Ignore her, Jake said. How long until we can jump? Engines are charging. 2 minutes. Those 2 minutes felt like hours. Jake watched the tactical display. Price's ships were moving closer, surrounding the fleet. They were preparing to board. They're launching assault shuttles, Ben reported. Dozens of them. 30 seconds to jump, Guardian announced. The assault shuttles were getting closer. Jake could see them on the screen. Small craft filled with armed soldiers. Price was done talking. 10 seconds. The shuttles were almost at the nearest ships in the fleet. 5 seconds. Here we go, Jake whispered. Space twisted. Reality bent. The Valiant's advanced engines activated, and suddenly they were moving. Not just moving. They were jumping through space itself, folding distance like paper. The fleet, the shuttles, Commander Price. Everything vanished behind them in an instant. The Valiant shot forward at impossible speed, leaving human space behind. Jake felt his stomach lurch. The view screen showed stars stretching into lines of light. They were traveling faster than anything he'd ever experienced. Jump successful, Guardian reported. We are en route to the archive. Estimated arrival in 4 weeks. Lisa grabbed a nearby console to steady herself. I think I'm going to be sick. The sensation will pass, Guardian said. Your bodies will adjust to the speed within a few hours. Ben was staring out the window with wonder. This is incredible. We're actually doing it. We're going where no one from modern humanity has gone. Jake sat down in the captain's chair. He felt the weight of what he'd just done. He'd stolen a battleship, fled from a corporate military force, and committed to a month-long journey into the unknown. Guardian, he said quietly. Tell me about the archive. What exactly are we flying toward? The archive contains the collected knowledge of 37 extinct alien civilizations, Guardian explained. Scientific data, cultural records, technological specifications, and philosophical treatises. It is the most complete library of alien knowledge ever discovered by any species. Why did those civilizations go extinct? Jake asked. There was a pause. That information is contained in the archive itself, Guardian said. But I will warn you, Captain. Every species that found the archive faced the same test. None of them survived. You must decide if humanity will be different. The command center fell silent. Outside the window, stars rushed past like rivers of light, carrying them toward hope or doom. Only time would tell which. Jake couldn't sleep. He'd been lying in the captain's quarters for 2 hours, staring at the ceiling. The room was comfortable, much nicer than anything on the Frontier Runner. But his mind wouldn't stop racing. He got up and walked to the command center. The ship was quiet at night. Most of the crew was sleeping. Only Guardian was always awake, always watching. Good evening, Captain, the AI said. You are restless, can't stop thinking, Jake replied. He sat in the command chair and looked at the view screen. Stars flowed past like a river. Guardian, show me the archive data. I want to know what we're flying toward. Are you certain? Once you access this information, you cannot unknow it. I'm sure. The view screen changed. It filled with images and text. Jake saw alien worlds, strange creatures, cities that defied imagination, technology that looked like magic, ships that could cross galaxies, weapons that could destroy stars. This is just a small sample, Guardian explained. The complete archive contains billions of files, scientific theories that revolutionize physics, medical cures for every known disease, energy systems that make fusion power look primitive, social structures that eliminate poverty and war. Jake leaned forward. Show me the medical files. The screen showed detailed diagrams, treatments for cancer, ways to regenerate damaged organs, methods to extend human life by hundreds of years. Jake thought about all the people who had died because humanity didn't have this knowledge. Why? He asked. Why would the expedition keep this secret? People were dying. We could have saved them. The Expedition Command asked the same question, Guardian said. They spent months debating. In the end, they decided the risk was too great. What risk? Guardian showed him another set of files. Historical records from the extinct civilizations. Jake read about a species called the Vorath. They found the archive 3,000 years ago. Within a century, they had advanced from a simple society to a spacefaring empire. Then they destroyed themselves. The Vorath split into factions fighting over the archive's knowledge. Each side built better weapons using the technology. The war lasted 50 years and ended when they used planet-killing weapons on their own worlds. Nothing survived. They're not the only ones, Guardian said. More records appeared. The Kelnar, the Thistrix, the Yum Collective, 37 civilizations, all found the archive, all destroyed themselves within a few generations. Jake felt cold. So it's a trap. The archive is poison. Not exactly, Guardian said. One species survived. The eldest. They found the archive and chose to share all the knowledge freely with everyone in their civilization. No secrets, no hoarding, complete transparency. What happened to them? They thrived for 2,000 years. They created a utopia. No war, no poverty, no disease. Then they evolved beyond physical form. They became beings of pure energy and left this dimension. Jake rubbed his face. So the lesson is that we either destroy ourselves or become gods. Those are the options. The lesson is that knowledge without wisdom is dangerous, Guardian said. The Expedition Command believed that humanity in their time was not ready. Too divided, too violent, too greedy. They feared we would become like the Vorath. But they left the fleet here. They left you waiting. Why? Hope, Guardian said simply. They believed that someday future humans might be better. That's why they created the test. If someone could find the fleet and reactivate it, perhaps humanity had changed. Jake stood and walked to the window. Out there somewhere, the archive waited. All that knowledge, all that power, what do you think? He asked Guardian. Is humanity ready now? I am an artificial intelligence, Guardian replied. I can calculate probabilities, but I cannot judge the human heart. That decision must be made by a human. By you, Captain. Jake thought about the world he knew. The colonies were still divided. Corporations fought for control of resources. People still went hungry while others lived in luxury. War was common. Peace was rare. But he also thought about people like Ben and Lisa. Good people trying to do right. Scientists working to cure diseases. Teachers educating children. Farmers feeding communities. Billions of ordinary humans just trying to live good lives. Guardian, what was the expedition's final decision? What did they do with the archive? They stayed near it, Guardian said. They built a station and lived there. They studied the knowledge but never brought it home. When the original crew grew old, they used the medical technology to extend their lives. Eventually, they had children. Those children grew up and had children of their own. So there's a human colony at the archive right now? Not exactly, Guardian said. The AI's voice became quieter. The expedition crew made one final choice. After living with the archive for 70 years, they decided to use the most advanced technology it contained. The technology of the eldest, the process that turns biological beings into pure energy. Jake turned around sharply. They're still alive? In a sense. They transcended physical existence. They exist now as consciousness without form. They watch the archive. They watch humanity. They wait to see if we are ready. Can I talk to them? When we reach the archive, yes. They will appear to you. They will help you make your decision. What decision? Whether to bring the archive's knowledge back to humanity, Guardian said, or to destroy it forever. You will have the power to do either. The expedition crew gave that choice to whoever found the fleet. To you, Jake Morrison. Jake sat back down. The weight of it crushed him. How could one person make that choice? How could anyone decide the fate of all humanity? I'm just a cargo hauler captain, he said. I'm not qualified for this. I'm not smart enough. I'm not important enough. The Expedition Command specifically wanted someone ordinary, Guardian explained. They didn't want a politician or a general or a corporate executive. They wanted someone who represented average humanity, someone who hadn't been corrupted by power, someone who still remembered what it was like to struggle. "That's me, all right," Jake said with a bitter laugh. "Always struggling." "You have 3 weeks to prepare," Guardian said. "I can show you more of the archive. I can help you understand what you're choosing between." "Use this time wisely, Captain." Jake nodded slowly. He looked at the flowing stars outside. Somewhere ahead was knowledge that could save humanity or destroy it, and somehow he had to decide which it would be. "Guardian, show me everything," he said. "I want to understand it all. If I'm going to make this choice, I need to know what I'm choosing." "Very well," Guardian said. "Let us begin with the basics. The first lesson from the eldest. Knowledge is not power. Wisdom is power. Knowledge without wisdom is merely a weapon pointed at yourself." The screen filled with information. Jake started reading. He had 3 weeks to become wise enough to save the world. Or condemn it. No pressure. Jake was in the middle of studying alien medical technology when the alarm started screaming. He jumped out of his chair and ran to the command center. Ben was already there, fingers flying over the controls. "What's happening?" Jake demanded. "Ships," Ben said. "Coming in fast from behind us. 6 of them." The view screen showed the tactical display. 6 red dots were chasing the Valiant through space. They were far behind but closing the distance. "Guardian, identify those ships," Jake ordered. "Scanning," the AI replied. "Confirmed. Nexus Industries warships. They are following our trajectory." "How?" Lisa asked, running onto the bridge. "You said they couldn't keep up with us." "They shouldn't be able to," Guardian said. "However, it appears they have upgraded their engines. They are using experimental propulsion technology. Dangerous but effective." Jake felt his stomach drop. Commander Price wasn't giving up. "How long until they catch us?" "At their current speed, 48 hours. Can we go faster?" "We are already at maximum sustainable speed," Guardian said. "I can increase velocity by 15%, but it would damage the engines. We would not reach the archive." Ben turned to Jake. "They must have been tracking us this whole time. Probably planted a beacon on the frontier runner before we left." Jake cursed himself. He should have thought of that. Price had been too calm when they escaped. She'd planned for this. "Guardian, can we lose them? Jump to a different location?" "Our jump drive requires 6 hours to recharge between uses. The pursuers would track our new trajectory and follow. We cannot escape by running." "Then we fight," Jake said. Lisa grabbed his arm. "Jake, no. Those are military ships with trained soldiers. We're just cargo haulers." "Actually," Guardian interrupted, "the Valiant is significantly more powerful than all 6 pursuing ships combined. This vessel was designed for deep space combat. It has superior weapons, shields, and armor." "But you said you can't fire on humans," Ben reminded the AI. "I cannot fire first," Guardian clarified. "However, if we are fired upon, I am authorized to defend the ship and crew. Self-defense protocols override my restrictions on human conflict." Jake thought quickly. "So we need them to shoot at us first." "That seems unwise," Lisa said. "It's our only option," Jake replied. He turned to the view screen. "Guardian, open a channel to the lead ship." Commander Price's face appeared on the screen. She looked tired but determined. "Captain Morrison, I'm impressed you made it this far." "Turn back, Commander," Jake said. "You can't have this fleet." "I don't want the fleet anymore," Price replied. "I want what you're flying toward. My sensors detected unusual readings along your trajectory. You're heading for something big, something valuable. It's not for sale." "Everything is for sale," Price said with a cold smile. "Here's my offer. Surrender the Valiant and tell me what you found. Nexus will pay you 10 million credits. You and your crew can walk away rich. And if I refuse, then we take the ship by force and you get nothing. Except maybe a quick death if you're lucky." Jake felt anger rising in his chest. "You know what your problem is, Commander. You think everything can be bought. Some things are more important than money." "Like what? Honor, freedom?" Price laughed. "Those are luxuries for people who can afford them. In the real world, money is power, and power is everything. That's exactly why you can't have the archive," Jake said. "People like you would use it to control others, to make yourselves richer while everyone else suffers." Price's smile faded. "So there is an archive." "I thought so. What's in it?" Jake realized his mistake too late. He'd confirmed what Price suspected. "It doesn't matter," he said. "You'll never reach it." "We'll see about that," Price said. "Last chance, Morrison. Surrender or die." "Go to hell," Jake replied. Price's face disappeared from the screen. Immediately, the tactical display lit up with warnings. "They're arming weapons," Ben shouted. "Missiles launching." "Guardian defensive systems," Jake ordered. "Activating." The AI responded calmly. The Valiant's shields powered up, creating an invisible barrier around the ship. The missiles streaked through space toward them. When they hit the shields, they exploded harmlessly. The ship didn't even shake. "Return fire," Jake commanded. "Disable their engines, but don't destroy them." "Acknowledged," Guardian said. Engaging. The Valiant's weapons came online. Energy beams shot from the battleship, precise and controlled. They hit the lead Nexus ship, burning through its rear section. The ship's engine sputtered and died. "One ship disabled," Guardian reported. 5 remain. The other Nexus ships spread out, trying to surround the Valiant. They fired from multiple angles. Missiles, energy weapons, everything they had. The shields held easily. "They're like insects attacking an elephant," Ben said with wonder. "Don't get cocky," Jake warned. "Guardian, take out their weapon systems. I don't want anyone getting hurt if we can avoid it." The Valiant moved with surprising grace for such a large ship. It dodged incoming fire while its weapons targeted the enemy ships with surgical precision. One by one, the Nexus warships were disabled. Their weapons destroyed, their engines offline, their shields down. In less than 5 minutes, the battle was over. "All enemy ships disabled," Guardian announced. "They are no longer a threat." Jake felt relief wash over him. They'd won without killing anyone. "Good work, Guardian." "Captain," the AI said, "I'm detecting a transmission from the damaged ships. It's a distress call." "To who?" "To Nexus Industries' main fleet. They're reporting our position and heading." Jake's relief vanished. "How many ships in the main fleet?" "According to their transmission, 43 warships. They are currently 6 days behind us but are moving to intercept." Lisa sank into a chair. 43 ships? "We can't fight that many." "We won't have to," Jake said, though he wasn't sure he believed it. "We'll reach the archive before they catch us. Once we're there, we'll have options." "What options?" Ben asked. Jake didn't answer because he didn't know. All he knew was that they had to keep moving forward. The archive was 3 weeks away. Nexus Industries was 6 days behind, and somewhere ahead was knowledge that could change everything. "Guardian, maintain maximum speed," Jake ordered, "and prepare the ship for long-range combat. If we have to fight 43 ships, I want every weapon we have ready." "Understood, Captain." Jake looked at his crew. Ben looked worried. Lisa looked terrified. They trusted him to get them through this. He hoped he deserved that trust. "Get some rest," he told them. "We've got a long road ahead." As they left the bridge, Jake stayed behind, staring at the view screen. The disabled Nexus ships were falling away behind them, growing smaller in the distance. But more ships were coming. Bigger forces, more dangerous enemies. And all he had was one ancient battleship, a skeleton crew, and hope that humanity deserved what waited at the end of this journey. Guardian's voice broke the silence. "Captain, may I ask a question?" "Sure." "If you reach the archive, what will you do? Will you keep the knowledge hidden, or share it with everyone?" Jake was quiet for a long moment. "I don't know yet, Guardian. Ask me when we get there." "I hope you make the right choice," the AI said softly. "So do I," Jake whispered. "So do I."